What's up guys, it's Apollo Uchiha here and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back with a new short movie. The name of the short movie is What If Naruto Founded the Excalibur Sword. And yeah guys, it is an unscripted short movie. Now before continuing this, shout out is due where it is due. Shout out to my boy Annie Easy for suggesting this idea. He's a fellow content creator, love his stories as well as this idea of his. Anyways, I took heavy inspiration from his comment and idea and yeah, tried to make it into a movie but ended up being a short movie. I didn't want it to, add on, worthless things into it. I just thought that this plot worked the best, so yeah, it ended up being a short movie. But don't worry, one of these days I will make a movie. At least I tried to do so. Anyways, enough said. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content of this channel. And without any further ado, let's begin with our today's story. Story begins in the world of elemental nations, as we see Kami, Yami and Shinigami were watching over it. As this was not the elemental nation we knew, it was before they had resetted the world. As we see, this world was filled with mana, energy they gave these humans that existed there, alongside many other creatures that existed as well. Dwarves, elves, but they were always against each other's throat. And many kingdoms existed, and one such kingdom was, amongst them all, Avalon. And inside it, a grand priest as well as a blacksmith and a grand wizard, forging both of their manas and holy power as well as their blacksmith skills with most precious and strongest ores of the earth, created by forging a sword with mana and metal, known as Excalibur, the sword that was supposed to be the divine sword, a sword that was meant to be picked and wielded by the king of the kings. And each and every king wanted that sword, as the word spread out, because they wanted the whole power over everyone, the authority. But it was now given to a farm boy known as Arthur. And once Arthur lifted that sword, peace and prosperity prevailed. But after his death, after forming the round table, the Excalibur was stabbed into the ground. He vowed that whoever will pick it up will be much more kinder and generous soul than him, before passing out. And as for the other kings, they became greedy and wanted the power of Arthur and the Excalibur. And so an all-out war began out in the kingdoms. The innocent suffered the most throughout this, and the brutalities were committed and all kinds of atrocities as well. And finally, the three goddesses, having enough, seeing what their creation has done, they erased everyone. Each and every soul was erased, but the sword that was there, embodied itself into the earth, was so prideful it remained there. And so the three goddesses let it be, since the Excalibur was forged with mana of the two most powerful beings there. That is why it existed. It has one of the abilities to protect itself, and it was still to this word, listening to the words of his previous owner, Arthur. The one who will pick it out and wield it will be the one who will be more kind and generous soul than his. As now we see, the Kami, Yami and Shinigami had hit the reset button as the whole world was resetted, but the Excalibur remained there. And soon the nature took over, as eons passed, as the new generation finally began of humans. As this time the humans didn't given any power of a sword, but they had forgotten about their own creation known as Otsuzukis, because one of the Otsuzukis ventured into their world known as Kaguya. She married a man there and had 2 children, and soon she too, after being betrayed by these humans, turned to the eviler side. But her children, given and guided by the Kami, were able to take care of it, and as the children sealed her away, and her monstrosity being that she created, known as Shinju, was distributed into the 9 parts known as the Bijus. And so with the abundance of chakra there, it was spread out to the world, as Kami, Yami and Shinigami allowed it, since they couldn't intervene because of the guilt that they still contained because of erasing the previous world and resetting it. They implied rules on them that they wouldn't interfere directly. Through interventions only, through prophecies and so on, would be allowed. And so they watched the elemental nation grew until they saw the war between the brothers of two, Asura and Indra Otsutsuki, the children of Hagoromo, began, and their war spread out like wildfire, as soon now the people were distributed in clans, and the clan warring era began, and soon it was stopped again, later on after 100,000 of years, as two beings known as Hashirama and Madara were born from different rival clans, two of the most rival clans who were at each other's throat at all times, and they were able to make peace, and the elemental nations era began as villages of different clans combining together were formed, and soon they, given under the guidance of the daimyo, were able to form the elemental nations. And so even then they got greedy, and like the previous kingdoms, the war began, and soon after the three great shinobis war, the peace was able to prevail, as now we see the three goddesses were seated as they were watching all of this. The world is again going towards the destructive path, sisters, said Kami. It is indeed. What should we do? We cannot intervene. We implied ourselves and vowed that we follow these rules, the golden divine rules that we will never interfere, only through prophecy and so on. That is it. Yami, you're a genius. We will send a child of prophecy there. Child of prophecy? Yes, a one that will bring forth peace finally into this world, and get rid of its atrocities. Even if they have committed it, they are still less than the previous world. For our intervention. You are correct. And the innocents here are able to protect themselves, to say the least. To some extent at least, said Yami. So what should we do? We should select two of the beings that we are going to choose as to be the bearers of the child of prophecy. As they watched in Konoha after scouting throughout the whole elemental nation to find her the suitable candidate, as they saw that she was pregnant with triplets, and they chose one of her child to be the child of prophecy. As the intervention was given to her and her husband through Jiraiya, who was also a member of the Toad clan, the prophecy was directly given to the elder Toad Sage, who delivered it ahead to Jiraiya and his clan, and he to Minato and Kushina. Now we go towards their house, where we see Minato and Kushina were shocked once they found out this news. Are you sure, Jiraiya-sensei, it is our child, or? Yes, I am sure. The prophecy has been given directly to the elder Toad Sage, and he has given this prophecy to me to deliver to you. So, my child is going to be the child of prophecy who is gonna end all this madness that has been going on. Yes, it is his job. It is his, path that he is going to follow. It is a heavy duty indeed, but a noble one as well, said Minato with a smile, as Kushina did as well. We'll try our best to raise him, or her. God knows who he is. Of course, when the time comes we have to pick it. Alright, only the time will tell. As the time moved forward, as the due date came near, and finally the October 10th arrived, when the delivery date was due. As everything was going greatly and smoothly, until there was an intervention from a man who was wearing a mask, who claimed to be Madara Uchiha, as he kidnapped one of the triplets that were born that day, and demanded Kushina the Jinchuriki. Minato, not willing to give up any, decided to attack. He was able to save his child and the other two while Kushina was taken. While searching endlessly for Kushina, he failed to see what the endgame was, as the Kyuubi no Yoko was released, as the whole village was now in shambles and scared. Civilians evacuated, the shinobis rushed to the front lines, as Hiruzen Sarutobi, the Sandem Hokage who had retired, was also, acting again as the head as well as a general of a sort, leading the shinobis, trying to stop the Kyuubi from destroying their home any much more, as it already had. As on the other side, Minato was able to locate down the masked person, as was able to have a confrontation, and even a battle that he almost won, after the man gave him two options, chase after him or defeat the Kyuubi and save his village. Obviously, Minato picked the second one. He knew that this was a mistake leaving the man go, but he will find him again. Right now, his home was the most number one priority. As he arrived on the battlefield, but Kushina with her hard-headedness arrived back as well on the battlefield after taking some chakra pills. As she then prepared an altar. Kushina, you really shouldn't be here, said Minato. Oh, I know where I should be, Minato. Shut up and do your job, and let me do mine. Alright, kiddos, I'm sorry, but this is the first thing I have to do after bringing you into this world. Seal away the Biju within you. as she tried to draw the seal on the third child after drawing the perfect combination on the other two. As she got frustrated. What? What is it, Kushina? The third child. The seal is not being drawn here. No choice. We have to seal it within the other two. As the QB being split in two parts was sealed within the older two children, Menma and Mito, both redheads. As the third child with blonde hair and tan skin, carbon copy of Minato, was Naruto, who was now the normal one. As now we see everyone was happy that Kushina was able to seal away the Biju as she fallen ill again as she passed out and woke up in the hospital bed. As now we go there to see she opened her eyes, still a bit blurry. She heard the voice of her husband. Kushina-chan, you're awake. Minato is... Yes, you protected the village. You and the kids. You saved everyone. Both of you. And I'm so proud and happy that you're okay. As he was happy, as so was Kushina after waking up. How's the seal? I checked it again and again, and even Jirasen said it twice because I was paranoid. Everything is going great and smoothly. They're both fine. What about Naruto? I tried to create the perfect, matrix, but nothing worked. We'll look into it later. Right now, your rest is all that is necessary. Hokage-sama, I'm sorry to interrupt, but there is a council meeting that is in need of your attendance. Alright, Kakashi, you watch over her and the kids. I'll leave. Hi, Sensei, said the Anbu after taking off his mask. I'm glad you're fine, Kushina-san. Well, so am I, Kakashi. Now be a good big brother and watch over them. I'm gonna take a nap. What? Wait, Kushina-san? Kushina-san? Oh, brother, said Kakashi, as now we go towards the council chamber. This council is in session, said Minato, after taking his seat. Congratulations, Minato, to you and Kushina for being parents now. And also, I know it's quite bad, but sorry, Hokage-sama, said one of the civilians. We need fundings, huge amount of them. The outer walls need repairs and some of the buildings in the village as well. And not only that, many people are wounded as well. We need to tend to their wounds. The hospital room is so much filled that we don't know what we can do. We'll make makeshift tents. That will do for the time being. And don't worry, I have contacted Daimyo-sama last night. He will send in help and a lot of, fundings to, reconstruct the village. You don't need to worry about that. The shinobi sector and the civilian sector both needs proper attendance, and it will be given through the budget that will be split in each half equally. Is that understood? Hi. No, anything else? As then Danzo stood up. Well, actually, there is one thing, Minato. What is it, Danzo? I want to know what happened to the Biju. As you can see, the Biju is stopped, and you don't need to intervene any further or worry about where it is. So you made a new Jinchuriki. What gave you that idea, Danzo? Said Minato. Of course you did. That is the only way. Kushina being the previous one, due to her pregnancy, she cannot become the Jinchuriki again, ever. I highly doubt that she can get pregnant again as well, because of the damage caused by the extraction. How do you know it was an extraction, Danzo? It has to be. Because the seal didn't broke loose, it would have killed Kushina. It has been noted that the other Jinchurikis whose seal were faulty, as the Biju escaped from them, they ended up dead. Danzo, you're crossing the line. And what else are you hiding? Nothing much. You see, Minato, I am worried about my village, and I will do anything in my power to protect it, whether you like it or not. I may have some of my odd ways, but there is nothing more precious to me than my village. You know that, right? Of course I know. The Jinchurikis are my two children, Menma and Mito. But I thought you had triplets. Of course I did. I have triplets. Naruto, for some reason, the seal didn't work on him, so he's perfectly fine and normal. The Biju was split in two ways, yin and yang, and Menma and Mito become the Jinchuriki. I see. So Kushina-san overwatched the seals herself, yes. And the third child, Naruto, is perfectly fine. He doesn't possess nor the soul nor any sort of chakra of the Kyuubi. He's perfectly normal and a healthy baby boy. I see then. Congratulations then, Minato. Thank you, Danzo. So what are you gonna do with the Jinchurikis now? Obviously train them and raise them, they are my children. What do you think I'm gonna do, Danzo? What kind of even question is that? No, not like this. I mean, there are three methods of training to Jinchurikis. The rigorous one, the hard one, or the normal that you're going to go along with. Listen to me, Danzo. I have been listening to your nonsense non-stop. These are my children we're talking about. Would any of you have given up your child if I would have asked you to make him into a Jinchuriki? As there was silence, dead silence. Even you elders, or you had grandchildren, would you have given them? As there was no word spoken from them. That is what I thought. You should be grateful that I chose mine, because they were the only ones at the time that I thought were, well, possibility of using. I couldn't ask for any one of your child if I couldn't use mine for this. But that is not all. I also trust them. So that is why I did what I did. As now we see. After that, Minato stood up. This meeting is adjourned. If that is all, then you can all leave now. As Minato returned back to his office, looking out on the window towards the village that was somewhat destroyed, as he sighed, did I make the right choice? As suddenly the door behind him opened, as he turned to find here was an aunt Jiraiya standing there. Well, Minato, I see that you did quite good in the meeting, or so I heard. Danzo is not looking happy, and everyone looked quite thoughtful at what you have said. I just gave them a reality check. If I had asked them, any of them, to give their child, would they have done the same as me? None of them had the guts to say anything, not even lying, because those words would have been heavy. What if you have said that, come on, let's do it? They wouldn't have a chance to back off. So they remained quiet. You did good, Minato. You did good. Thank you, Hiruzen-sama. Sensei, you're back. But I thought you were away. Well, I was nearby until I sensed something was wrong. So I contacted Sensei, and he told me everything that went by last night. To be honest, I'm quite proud of you, Minato. And I'm sorry that you had to use your children as the Jinchuriki. Well, there was no other way. Someone had to do it. So, what now? Well, what now is that the prophecy has begun, as I told you before. It is time to pick a child. But Sensei, how do we know? Which one is it? It could be either three of them. Three of them. Last time I checked, you have only two Jinchurikis, Minato. Yes, well, but Naruto is also my child. What if it is the child of prophecy? Minato, don't kid yourself. The boy, he's not a Jinchuriki. And he doesn't possess any extraordinary power aside from being a normal shinobi. At best, he can do that. At best, he can be up to your power or surpass you. But Menma and Mito, am I saying their names right? The Jinchurikis? Yes, Sensei. They are the ones that have the ability to surpass each and every one of us here. Become the legends as well as the one who can guide everyone to peace. As Minato was in deep thought, but Sensei, we can't be sure. We have to give the three of them proper training. Fine. I see where you're coming from. But remember this, Minato, it would be a waste of time. I'm sorry, what? Well, I'm telling you the truth, Minato. It will be a waste of time. I'm gonna focus on their Fuinjutsu training and Taijutsu training. And we'll see if it is a waste of time or not. Give me at least 8 years, Sensei, before we even come to a conclusion. Fine, Minato. I'll be back 8 years later. But know this. It will be a little bit late, but oh well. We'll see what we can do by the time then. Thanks, Sensei. Thank you for trusting me. Alright, I'll be off then. Here's the report for this, well, whole year. As after that, Jiraiya moved away. As Hiruzen then said, well, Jiraiya could be right, but you made a right decision, Minato. You should overwatch the three kids, see what they hold, and the one who holds the most potential is most obviously and likely to be the child of prophecy. You're right, Hiruzen-sama. Thank you. As now we see, the life of the triplets began with Minato and Kushina in Elemental Nation and in Konoha. As years went by, as finally 6 years later, we see in the backyard of the Uzumaki Namikaze residence, The three triplets were training as Naruto again fell down on the ground as Mito has won the sparring session. That's it, stop. Mito, you win. Yes! And Naruto, your form is sloppy. We have been teaching you the same way. You have to correct your form. I'll try my best, Kajan, said Naruto as he went behind his siblings. As Menma and Mito, although a little bit boastful, then said, Geez, Naruto, at this rate we're gonna be the ones who ended up protecting you. And what if we're not around? What will happen then? Said Mito, as both of the siblings' expression turned dark. Don't worry, Naruto. We'll avenge you. Wait, what? But I'm right here. Oh, yeah, you're right, you're here. The three of us are going to avenge you, said Mito. Jeez, said Minato as he arrived there. You kids really are up to no good teasing your little brother like that, as the three of them chuckled again. To-chan, you're back, as Kushina was also happy to see this. Both of the parents were happy to have such a happy and loving family. As now we see, Minato then called them inside, as the dinner was then placed, as the three of them were seated. Listen to us. There's something that I would like to tell you. Minato, there is still some time. We can't wait. Sensei has been forcing me for the past 2 years. I have been postponing it, but seeing as it is now, we have to narrow it down a bit. Alright, so yeah, the kids, they need to know, Kushina. As finally turning towards the three kids who were looking up at their parents with curiosity, Minato then said, Listen to me, kids. There was a prophecy given to me. As after explaining them to the prophecy, he then stated, So, there is a possibility that one of you is going to be the child of prophecy, said Minato looking towards Menma and Mito, as Naruto then said, Why are you looking at them only? There are three of us here, right? Well, Naruto, the thing is that, I'm sorry to say this, son. As Naruto then said, yeah, my big mouth, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, obviously they have the chakra and they're quite good at what they do. I'm just a sloppy idiot. You're not sloppy, Naruto. You're just, uncomfortable with this stance we're so used to. Maybe we're not good teachers to you. No, Kushina. We have been trying our best. And Naruto, to be honest, son, I don't think that you're fit to be a shinobi at all. As Naruto was hurt by these words, but as he sighed and said, Really? You really think so? But I'd really wish to be a shinobi. Naruto, listen to me, son. The shinobi world out there is quite dangerous. We have a lot of enemies who will love to pick a bone with us anyhow and any way. And if you're out in the field, you'll be much weaker than your siblings, and they can easily target you. And you know how the shinobi world is unfair. They won't tolerate your rank. They will come at you even if they are S-rank predators, hunting down for you as a prey. What will you do then? Your siblings will never be able to protect you at all times. I have seen it many times, vow to protect in the end failed to do so. I don't wish for them to get hurt or for you to get killed. So it is for the best if you choose another profession, son. But if you wish to try, be my guest. You have a little bit of time. At the end of the graduation day, when you all graduate from the Shinobi Academy, if I don't see any improvements, I will make you change your profession. Is that a deal, son? It is. I promise I will change. As now we see, time begin to pass by as Naruto, Menma and Mito reach at the age of 10. And already Naruto was tensed out, as he was training on his own now, because Minato and Kushina and Jiraiya were focusing solely all on Menma and Mito. And Menma and Mito didn't even have enough time to even, talk to their sibling, because it was training with 6 months with Jiraiya away, then training with the parents away, for the time being one after another. They were going on training trips after training trips after training trips, with either Kushina, with either with Minato, or with either with Jiraiya. And Naruto on his own was just reading scrolls and trying his best to gather his chakra. He even asked from Guy as well as Kakashi for some help. Even if they tried to do so, he was not just comfortable with all of this. As now we see, he, finally having it enough, ventured into deep woods. As he sighed as he looked up at the moon. Ah, man, why me of all the people? has got to suffer so much? I'm trying my best. Why can't I improve? Why can't I show them that I can become a shinobi? I've tried Fuinjutsu, Genjutsu, Taijutsu, and even Ninjutsu, and nothing is working at all. All different styles I tried. Nothing suits me. Even the Jukin style doesn't suit me. How am I gonna be a shinobi? Is Tochan right after all? Am I really going to be just a burden? Do I really have to kill my dreams? As Naruto, suddenly thinking all of this, bumped into something. As he got up, that really hurts. As he then saw, there was some sort of stone there. As Naruto saw that it was oddly shaped stone, a huge blade-like stone that was thin and even had a handle or a grip of a sword. As Naruto, placing his hands over there, felt something. As his eyes shined for a bit, as he, without thinking for a bit, pulled the blade upwards, as the whole blade extended itself. As Naruto with a single hand lifted it up, as the lightning struck down, the blade itself was cleansed. As Naruto's eyes widened, as he passed out. Next morning, once he woke up, he found that there was a huge blade laying next to him, and in his palm there was a mark similar to that blade. As Naruto was quite confused by this. What is this? What happened? As Naruto then looked around to see that nobody was there, he then picked up the blade, and to his surprise it was quite light, unlike yesterday night when it suddenly became so heavy like it was weighing a ton. As Naruto then, arriving at the gates of the said forest, then was now quite uncertain. What is he gonna do? If he brings this blade, everyone will see it. And suddenly the blade disappeared from his hand as he saw the mark glow, and the mark that was within became visible with colors similar to that of blade that was once being held by him. As now we see Naruto arrive back at home, his mother and father who were there were worried. Naruto, where have you been the whole night? I was in the woods and the lightning struck and then I passed out. Naruto, are you alright? Said Kushina, checking over Naruto, as Minato was also worried. Son, do you know how dangerous that is? What were you even doing there? I was just trying to find a way to... Son, enough with this. At this rate, you're gonna end up dead. We don't wish any of this for you. You're gonna change your profession. You're not going to be a shinobi, Naruto. And that's final. But I want to... Enough, Naruto. Listen to your parents. It is for your own good, said Kushina. Seeing that her child would end up dead, she didn't want it that. And like a worried parent, she was ready to go to all lengths to protect her child. And so was Minato. As Menma and Mito seeing this nodded. Naruto, you're not doing this. We don't mean any ill intent towards you, but this way you'll only be a burden. Burden to Kachan and Tojan. And to us, said Menma, as his lip was quivering, as his fists were clenched so tight that his knuckles were white as he was saying these words. You make us a laughing stock. Everyone laughs at us, saying that how we are skilled and you're so dumb. Stop this. Everyone laughs at you, and we hate it. As Naruto looked heartbroken, as Mito was also sad by this, and so were parents. As Naruto were dashed upstairs with tears in his eyes, as Menma finally broke down, as his sister hugged him, and so did his parents. I didn't mean that, but it had to be done. I can't watch my brother die. Not him. Not any of you. As Menma was crying so hard, as after being consoled and calmed down by his parents, he finally fell asleep there on the couch. As Mito then looked down. Why did our family turn out like this? It's all because of that accursed prophecy, Kachan, said Mito, finally yelling out, as Kushina was taken aback. Mito, this is not the time. Oh, this is the time. Since the prophecy, we have done nothing but ignore Naruto. Whenever we try, there's always go on this training trip, now we're going on this training trip and that training trip and so on. We have tried to communicate with him, talk to him, even tried to teach some of the cool jutsus we learned. But so far nothing. It has been a burden to Menma Nisan as well, since he's the oldest. because he sees that we as siblings are failing him. And we as Uzumakis and Namikaze, heck, even as a family, we can't allow that to happen. Naruto is tensed and worried out because of the bet that you placed on him, Tochan. He wishes to be a shinobi. You can place him with our team. We can protect him. It is not that simple, Mito. I wish it was that simple. What Manma did, I would have done the same. Even if it hurted. Even if it hurted him. Even if it makes him hate me. I will do it again to protect him. Because this shinobi world is unforgiving. It is not built on fantasies, Mito. It will do anything and everything in its way to destroy you or anyone you love. And I have seen enough of it. Seen how families are destroyed, how loved ones are killed in front of your eyes just because they were involved with you. And I can't let that go or on and happen in my family, in my watch. No. Even if it breaks his heart, so be it. At least he'll be able to live, and we'll be at least happy enough to know that he is alive. And maybe someday we'll be able to reconnect again, said Minato. I have work to do, he said as he left too, as Kushina also wiped off her tears, knowing that her husband was hurting, and so were her children. And right now, the one who was hurting the most may be Naruto. But unknown to them, Naruto was listening to everything on the stairways, as he finally made his way upstairs. Closing the door shut, he fell upon his bed. They're going to such lengths because of me. Maybe I really should give up. Tochan is right. The shinobi world is really unforgiving. And everything I try to learn, everything I do, I always ended up failed somehow. So what's the point? As suddenly then, the symbol glowed as Naruto's eyes widened as he passed out, as in front of him was a man standing in an armor, wielding the same blade. So you must be the successor of mine. Successor? What do you mean? My name is Arthur. I am hailed as the king of the kings, and I am from Avalon. You are my successor. Naruto Uzumaki, right? Yes, sir. What do you mean your successor? Even if you are this, I never heard of you. That is because the world has been resetted. I exist prior to that. And after my death, for many years war waged. So much that it corrupted them. Kamiyami and Shinigami had to intervene to erase them. And now only this blade exists. My prideful partner, Excalibur. But now he is your partner because he has chosen you, Naruto. Because you are more generous, kind, and more rigorous than me. Unwielding. And somewhat prideful. That is why Excalibur likes you. Likes me? Where are we anyway? This is a plane where I'll be teaching you how to train wielding this weapon. This will be your offensive and defense here. Against all sorts of attack. As Naruto then saw that the original Excalibur appeared in front of his eyes as he picked it up. Pick it up, kid. Now, let us begin. As Naruto was suddenly attacked by Arthur, but to his shock, Naruto was able to avoid and parry the attack, and even allowed some of the strikes to land on Arthur, as Arthur was surprised. Impressive. You're much more agile. This will be fun. As Naruto and Arthur began their training. As for Naruto, it felt like months, and months turned into years there, as Naruto was able to learn each and every ability of Arthur and Excalibur. As now we see, the final battle was going out, as Naruto then said, monumental strikes, as huge amount of slashes made out of pure mana was struck down, causing huge amount of destruction, as Arthur then said, luminous, as huge amount of bright light emerged, blinding Naruto, as when the blindness went by, Arthur was in front of him. Barrier, as the barrier erupted from Excalibur, protecting Naruto and him. As Naruto then counterattacked. Fire, as the blade itself was now in flames, as Arthur was struck down. Impressive, Naruto. You really are able to surpass me now, huh? But you're still a kid. As Naruto looked behind as the Excalibur itself was coming down, 100 times the more size, so huge, as the real Excalibur was pointed towards him by Arthur. Excalibur, divine Excalibur. As from the sky, such huge sword landed upon Naruto, as Naruto was finally laying down. Thanks to Excalibur in his hand, he was able to protect himself. I'm still not able to beat you. Well, you almost did. And if I hadn't used this ultimate move of mine, I would have been defeated long time ago. Well, kid, I gotta say, the training is concluded now, and I think it is time for you to wake up anyhow. It is morning already. Wait, what? Hasn't it been years or so? Time works differently here. Only a whole night has passed. Since, that time when your parents and you had that argument with your siblings. Oh. I'm sorry, kid, for reminding you of bad memories, but it is just only a few hours since that confrontation in that world from where you are from. Now you know how to summon and desummon Excalibur and how he is your most loyal and trusted partner, aside from being a weapon. I know. Now go on and begin your journey, and always wield Excalibur for peace and peace alone, Naruto. Of course I will. As now we see Naruto woke up back in his room. As he looked to the sunrise, he looked down at his hand, the symbol still there, as he smiled, knowing that he knew how he will be able to fulfill his dream without worrying his family. As now, the original tale of Naruto is about to begin. Now we see Naruto went downstairs, where he saw that his parents and his siblings were up. As Banman got up from his seat and said, Naruto, listen, about last night, It's alright. I understand where you were coming from. The thing is that I have something to show you. I challenge you to a duel, Minmani-san. Naruto, listen, I'm sorry, but please, don't do this. Yes, Naruto, can't you see we're all worried about you? We're worried about your safety. Please, stop this. Said me too as well. Please, just trust me, okay? Fine, said Menma, as the whole family was now in the backyard, as Naruto then summoned a sword, the same sword that he used to fight against Arthur in that escape of his wherever he was. As everyone was shocked, Naruto, what is this? This is the thing I wanted to show you. The night I stayed out in the woods, well, the lightning struck close, well, more like on me, when I lifted this up from the ground. It was embedded itself into the ground. I don't know at the time what it was. I thought it was a rock or something. But then it just stuck to me. You didn't tell us that? You were hit by lightning and you didn't tell us. Why? I did not knew. I thought it was a dream. That is until last night. It seems like years I trained with the previous owner of this sword. His name is Excalibur and it is a divine sword. How can you be so sure? Throw a Rasengan at me, Tojan. What? Naruto, are you sure about this? Just do it. As Minato, looking at his family, then looked at Naruto. Okay. As charging up Rasengan, he dashed towards Naruto. As Naruto then used only one word, shield. As Minato was shocked as the Rasengan was slammed into air. An invisible sort of a shield that was surrounding Naruto. What is this, Naruto? This is what I was telling you about. It has the abilities to protect me. And not only that, look at this. With a single slash, Naruto cut it off the tree that was there, that was far away from them. See? It is fast as well. I learned how to train with it, and, improve with it. As the time goes on, I will be able to adapt to it as well. I trained with it enough already, so that I can know what its abilities are. What are its abilities? Many. The possibility is endless. It has unlimited amount of mana. Now I know why. Why was I not fit to be able to use chakra and ninjutsu and any of the teachings? It was because it was kenjutsu after all that was my specialty. That I am able to find, Tojan. So what do you say now? As Minato, somewhat proud of his son, then said, I apologize and take back my words, Naruto. You really are fit to be a shinobi. No, you're fit to be more than that. As now both of the parents watched, as finally years went by and Naruto graduated all on the base of his sword, as well as some of the new techniques that he learned thanks to mana, replication, as well as allure, as the technique was called. It was basically similar to, well, clone, but a physical copy that erased itself after luring someone to a trap or somewhere. As now we see, Naruto and his family were celebrating, and they were formed into a team, Team 12, as they were, Team 13, as they were under Kushina's jurisdiction. As the three Uzumaki siblings with her went out to begin their journey. As everything went plainly, as the first D rank missions went by, and soon the C rank missions also were going great, as their quota of the C rank missions were filling close, as they were ready to report in to Minato. We see that Minato looked tense. Is everything alright, Minato? It's Kakashi. The Team 7, they're hurt and in Land of Waves. Turns out Tauzuna, their client, lied. It was supposed to be a C rank mission. Turned out it was an A rank or maybe an S rank mission, Kushina. Oh my god. Kakashi will need backup. How about we go then? Said Menma. Are you sure, son? It is a huge task. We'll take care of this. As now we see, the three of the siblings went with their mother. Team 13 went to help out Team 7. And once they arrived, they saw that Kakashi was on the losing end again, and was close to dying as well. Naruto, using his divine slash, cut it throughout the blade that was being carried out by the person, whose eyes were widened, and even the slash formed on its body as well. What is that? As with the drops of its blood, the blade fused itself back together. As Zabuza got up again, wheezing as he was panting as well because of the wound. Ugh, that is a deep wound, kid. Did you do this to me? With your blade? Of course I did. Let my friends go. And tell me who you are. I am Zabuza Momochi, one of the 7 swordsmen from Kiri. And you, kid, I like you. How about a duel? If you're able to defeat me in a Kenjutsu battle, I'll spill out the beans and leave peacefully. How about it? No tricks, just plain out Kenjutsu. Naruto, don't do it. Fine. Seeing that Kakashi was in deep trouble and so were the other Genins from Team 7, Naruto agreed. As the all-out battle began, Naruto was able to parry attacks as well as go head-to-head with Zabuza and his blade, as Zabuza was impressed, as Naruto, with a single enraged slash as Zabuza was taunting him, even cleaved off the blade completely, as Naruto was panting heavily. You know, losing your cool in a swordsmanship match always means you are defeated, but you have defeated me by breaking that blade. Your blade is strong, kid, and so is your will. I'll honor you and tell you this. I was sent here by Gato. He's hiding north side from that village. And not only that, as promised, I'm leaving. Thank you. As Zabuza and Haku then arrived and left. As Menma then said, you're going to let them leave? Honor between the words of the Kenjutsu master should be respected. He challenged me to a duel. He lost, stating before what his punishment will be if he's lost, and he fulfilled his side, and so should I. As Mito and Kushina were impressed and proud, as on the other side Kakashi, now freed and tired, then said, we gotta deal with this Gato. As Gato at that time arrived there, that Naruto alone took care of him after he just said the word rape and included 2 more words like his mother and sister. Naruto was blinded with rage, and what happened next was a massacre. With the divine slash alone, they were all cleaved off from their center hearts, as they were split in 2 parts and died out bleeding there in a mess, the pool of their own blood. As Naruto looked at them with cold expression, and after that he looked down. What have I done? As he could feel the blade having, because his heart was almost tainted, gripped by darkness and greed of power. I made a mistake. I shouldn't have done this. You protected us, Naruto. Even if you spilled blood, it was to protect us. Vow to me, son, that you will only use lethal force whenever it is only necessary and you see no way out. Not so unnecessarily. I promise to you, Kajan, I will. Good. Then let us head back. And after that, the bridge was completed, and Team 7, after completing their mission, returned back to Konoha. And soon, Team 13 and Team 7 found out that they were going to hold Chunin exams soon, and they also were going to participate this time. As the Chunin exams drew near, so grew the tension, because Suna was acting strange. Because the Kazekage was acting strange. As now we see, the first two tests after the Chunin exam arrived went as in canon. The second test, which was the first of that test, was passed by Team 13 early on, as they became the first team, soon followed by the team from Suna, the Sabuko siblings. And soon after that, Team 7 arrived at the last, as Sasuke was injured, Saya was also wounded, and Sakura was in no condition at all. So they were disqualified because they had to retire of almost passing out. As now we see, the preliminary rounds began, and after their ending, the final rounds began, in which Naruto had a match with Iwa's, Tsuchikage's granddaughter, Kuretsuchi, who went all out against Naruto. "You know, this will be fun," she said, as Naruto, parrying her attacks, which was built from lava release, was trying his best to avoid her. And in the end, Naruto was able to trap her in her own, ability, as she was about to burn herself to death. Because these were preliminary rounds and death was allowed, Naruto, not wanting to kill, was able to save her, as he bridle carried her away from the destruction and landed nearby. Her eyes fell upon Naruto, wide, and her cheeks were burning. "What do you think you're doing? You baka! You could have... I couldn't have let that pretty face of yours melted. I mean, you're kinda cute, and all. And I didn't want you to get hurt. It was just a, sparring match and all that." As she was quite shocked, and now was betrayed as well, and passed out because of embarrassment, and Naruto was labeled as the victor. As after the preliminary rounds ended, the final round of Naruto ended, Naruto was now residing in the other side of his booth, with his siblings, giving him the sly looks, as well as his mother, proud of him for what he has done. And many of the women were also proud of him there, from Konoha, and some of the others were impressed because of his, generous heart that he has showed. As even Oniki was. Minato, aside from respect, your son, am I right? Yes. He has a generous heart, even showing kindness to enemies. Maybe you should take some lessons from him. Yes, I think so too. He's kind of special indeed. As now we see, finally the Konoha Crush began, and Orochimaru revealed itself, as the three Kages were cornered separately with each clone of Orochimaru. As he tried to use his cursed seal on them, an all-out battle began. As the genjutsu was casted, Naruto, using his divine blade, was able to execute Shikaku and revive Gaara back. After the Takano Jutsu there, Naruto dashed towards helping out the others, and throughout this all, everyone was monitoring and watching this, from all different villages as well as from Konoha. Naruto was helping them out and defecting away the enemies. As after that, Naruto, neutralizing them, arrived at the force field inside which all the Kages were trapped, and they were fighting against the Edo Tensei of the first and the second Hokage. As Naruto then said, "Back off, everyone," as Naruto pointed his sword towards the force field. "Divine Excalibur!" As from the sky, soaring and piercing throughout, everyone watched a huge shadow, in the form of that same blade that Naruto held, 100,000 more times more larger. It embedded itself into the seal, cutting throughout the mountain known as the Hokage Mountain, in which the faces of the Hokages were engraved as well. As the whole mountain shattered, shattering the seal as well, the blade itself disappeared immediately, because Naruto wanted to stop the damage. As he rushed towards Orochimaru, with a single cleave of his sword, Orochimaru's neck was cleaved off, ending the Edo Tensei. As Naruto stopped himself, as he's holding the hilt of his blade, he stabilized himself as he was panting heavily, because he has exhausted some of the mana as well as his chakra that was mixing within the sword, forming divine mana as well. As Naruto got up, "That took a lot out of me. You executed Orochimaru. You saved us Kages, as well as you rescued everyone, kid." As everyone was proud of Naruto and hailed him as the true hero of the attack that happened, while everyone was celebrating this and also were signing alliances to form peace, Naruto and Kuretsuchi throughout this celebration sneaked off, and she and Naruto were spending some time together because she wanted to thank him, but in reality she couldn't get enough of him. It was her heart that wanted him. Even though he was a son of an enemy who she detested, she couldn't help but fall in love with him. And so did Naruto. As both of them got close, Manma spent time with Hinata, and Mito, well, she with Sasuke. As that stubborn bastard, after being defeated by her again and again and humiliated, turned into, well, her bitch. So yeah, he was her boy toy and listened to her. Anyways, as now we see on the other side, Naruto and Kurotsuchi were spending time and even, well, having romantic dates while the celebration continued on for a whole week. Other side, the Akatsuki was watching this all from the shadows, and they were not pleased with what they were seeing. It seems as if that boy wields more power than we imagine. He's already able to ally the whole elemental nation by his side. We need to declare the war now, before it is too late. And so the war was declared throughout this celebration that was halted at the last day. And now, the next day after the celebration ended, the fourth Shinobi War has begun. And so everyone set it out to the war, as after arriving there, the Akatsuki using the armies of Zetsu lunged at them. But Naruto, using his blade's ability, was able to protect not only him but his armies as well. Leading the battle, Naruto took charge and defeated all of them one by one. But after all of them fall, they used their last technique to sacrifice themselves to revive the Madara, the true one. As the Edo Tensei rose, as he revived himself, Madara in his all full form and power and glory attacked Naruto. Naruto using his Excalibur and Madara using his Gunpei went head to head, but Madara had an edge, as Naruto was on the losing end, even with Excalibur. In the end, now we see Naruto on his knees, as with one hand, he supported himself through Excalibur as he panted, "You know, kid, you dance well, but unfortunately this is where your demise is written. You'll die here." "You're the one who's gonna die here." Suddenly he was stabbed throughout the back. As he looked down to see the same blade and looked behind to find Naruto, his eyes went, "How?" As the Naruto in front vanished. The technique of allure. Similar to your shadow clones. I can lure you into a trap. And look above now. As he saw the blade from within him disappear as a divine Excalibur landed atop of him. That exploded in golden blinding light. As everyone watched huge amount of thunderstorm that was gathering there. And after all of it ended, Madara was dead. The fourth great Shinobi War won as the allied forces celebrated and hailed Naruto as the true Shinobi of the Shinobis, Kage of the Kages, leader of the leaders, because he took charge even at such a young age and led them through victory. Minato and Kushina and his siblings couldn't get enough. The siblings, they were so hard trying to protect and making sure that he didn't become a shinobi because of the fear that he might die out, was able to achieve all of this. And that is when Minato, Kushina and both of them realized Naruto was the one who was the child of prophecy. And he was the one who brought change. And there was nothing they could do because, as Jiraiya said, it was written in his path. It is prophecy. It is in his will that it is his path that has been chosen by the gods to lead them to peace and prosperity. And that is what followed suit after this victory. The allied forces still existed. Naruto married out to Kurotsuchi, who was now the Tsuchikage. Menma became the Hokage. Since Naruto still continued out the Kenjutsu classes, he taught the next generation of the kids how to be Kenjutsu masters, because he and everyone else knew that the true strength lied in oneself and one's will. No matter the circumstances, they all can and have the ability to make huge impacts and changes. As for the others, they were also happily married, and so in the end was Naruto and Kurotsuchi. As this is where I'm going to be leaving this story off, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's short movie, and if you did, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content of this channel. As this is Apollo Uchiha, and I'm signing off for the day. Peace.